Hey everyone, I've got my wall of eyes today, but I'm taking a break from rooting for the villain videos. I forgot what they're called for a second because the weirdest thing happened to me last week. So here's the eyes. I'm gonna draw these while I talk about how I almost got scammed. And you know how normally phishing emails are pretty obvious? This one was not. And they almost got me. So I just want to talk about it. So I also wanted to talk about it because the only reason I even knew that it was definitely fake was because I Googled the phone number that I was given and found someone's blog post, and they had posted their entire interaction with this person or whatever, and it was exactly the same words. So I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely fake. So what it was I got an email from the contact page of my website, and it also came directly to my Gmail account. And it was from a person calling themselves Juliet Simon, and the subject was I need your services, which is looking back kind of a weird subject, but not that alone wasn't a red flag to me. And then they were saying, she was like, hi, this is my name, blah blah blah, I'm heading a workshop about the pandemic and safety and preventative measures. And she was like, this is going to be for students ages, I think the ages she gave me was 15 through 17. And she was like, and I just need some 8.5 by 11 illustrations. I'm hoping you can help me out with that. I need an artist or an illustrator. And she thanks Juliet or whatever. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I emailed her back and I was like, hi Juliet, thanks for reaching out. Can you tell me a little bit more about the project and what you're looking for? And so she sends more details about what illustrations she'd want, how many, how they're going to be used, when she would need them by, and what her budget was. And her budget was really high, and it was $650 per illustration, and these are only 8.5 by 11s. And she set the kind of colors she would want. She said exactly what should be in the illustrations. She said these would be made as flyers so that she could distribute them to students, and that she would want ownership of the creative ownership so that she could continue to use them. That was kind of a red flag for me, but that alone wasn't enough. What first kind of raised the biggest flag was that she gave me such a high budget. Usually people don't do that. And then the fact that she was or you can just tell me what you want me to pay. And so I was okay, well, that's definitely doable. I'd love to help, but can you just tell me more about the workshop? Maybe send me a link and confirm the due date, because what she gave me was a range. She said it would be due 8 weeks from June 19th. And I was like, okay, can you just confirm exactly? Because that's a Saturday, I don't know. And it's also we would need to do you have an agreement that I would sign? Especially since she's talking about ownership of the images and reproduction. And so she was like, yes, please draw up a contract. And she completely ignored my request for more information or a website. And I was like, I can draw up a contract. I can get started on that. And I actually did start, because I have a standard agreement format that I use. And I was like, but I need to know what company you represent, a confirmed due date, and I need to see something. I'm not just going to start doing 5 illustrations, heavily detailed, and expect money, and I don't know how these are going to be used. For all I know, you're going to slap a caption on them that I don't agree with, and I can't even contest it because you're telling me you have ownership. And so she just she responded with oh, I don't work based with a website, like I have a sponsor that's providing like the finances for it, and that's who's going to be paying you, so we just need your full name, address, and phone number so that we can send you a cashier's check. And that was the big red flag for me. And she was like, and you can text me that information at this phone number. And so like, not only is she not answering my questions for more information, you can't like see what I'm doing. That's the eye I'm working on. So like, not only is she dodging my question or kind of acting like, no, I don't have a website, which is impossible. Like, how do you not have a website in 2021 for your workshop for teenagers? Like, there's got to be something. How are people signing up? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was odd. Like, not even a Facebook event or something. And she's asking me for, you know, sensitive information, full name, phone number, and address. And she's asking me, like, instead of just putting them in the email chain, she's having me text them to a number that I don't even know. So I Google the number, and I'm thinking, you know, if she's like working, doing a workshop, like I Googled the name of the workshop that she gave me, nothing came up. And I Googled the phone number, and that is how I found that blog post where the exact same conversation was taking place, except the person who had this interaction was a writer, and Juliet under a different name. So I don't know if it's like a group or what, or a bot, but they had asked this writer to do like a short informational booklet, and said all the same things, also gave her a high quote, and this was in January of this year. And this, and maybe I'll link the blog post, like she had actually agreed and started working on it and gotten a check, and the check was for way too much. And so that's when she was like, oh, this is like sketchy. So given all that, I was like, okay, this is like absolutely not real, but I just still had to test it. Like, I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm definitely not doing this, and it was also kind of a relief because I've been thinking about anyway, like, I'm kind of maybe going to close commissions for a while and just focus on like my own personal and conceptual work, but this would have been a pretty high paying thing and like not too much work. And, you know, obviously that's a red flag too. Like, if someone's going to give you a ton of money to not do a ton of work, like that's too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, it's not true. So I was a little relieved, like, okay, now I don't have to do this boring commission about the pandemic. But I just sent one last email, and I was like, I really just need to know, like who you work for, like more about, I need to see something about this workshop. And she just was like, no, I just don't have a website. Like, I just don't. And like, blah, blah, blah. It's imperative that we teach the younger generation about safety, like, blah, like, blah, blah, blah. And I just never answered. I really didn't even need to send that last email. I just kind of like was like, I know you're fake. Like, it was just short of saying that. And I don't know. I'm just so glad that the other person who had interacted with them made that post, because that confirmed it for me. And everything else was enough that I wouldn't have taken it, but I might have had even further interaction with them, and that probably would have been bad, because I probably would have continued to be like, you need to send me something, like, can you tell me more about who you are, like, blah, blah, blah. And like, who has the time? I hate talking to people and wasting my time on stuff like that. So I'm just really glad that I was able to see right away that it was fake. And that was the most convincing phishing email that I had ever seen, because normally they're like, full of typos, or there's something awkward with the language where it just doesn't seem like the way someone would say something. The only thing that gave this person away was their willingness to pay a large amount of money without giving like any information and asking me for information. Like, that was feeling very like, this Nigerian prince needs your help. I thought it was crazy. Like, I could totally see like a younger me, or like, yeah, like if like when I was just getting started as an artist and just starting to take commissions, I definitely could see myself falling for this, honestly, like, because the idea of being respected and getting a commission and like being wanted as an artist is, you know, the goal. And it would feel really good to think like, oh yeah, I'm like getting work, I'm doing something. And I feel like that excitement would have blinded me to some of these subtle red flags. But I'm older and more experienced now, and thank goodness for the internet and the ability to Google phone numbers and stuff, right? Although I guess the internet is also the way that this fish got me, or like reached me. Oh, and I guess like that's the issue with having any kind of freelance or public service where you're providing contact information and writing or illustrative services, because like you have your contact information out there, you want people to be able to reach you and give you commissions. And so mixed in with the legitimate requests is these sketchy ones. I'm starting another eye, and it sucks because like recently this girl DM'd me and she was asking about my art and prices, and she did end up commissioning me for a portrait, and I did the commission, but I was like overly skeptical at first. I was like, is this even a real person? Like, I was looking at their page, I was like looking at the way she was typing, I was looking like, does she follow people? Do real people follow her? Like, I was like, this could be fake. Like, everything could be fake. Everything's a trick. And it kind of sucks that we have to be that cautious. Maybe let me know if you think I'm being over cautious, but now I like thoroughly vet like every request that I get, because I'm like, this could just be a scam. But one thing I've noticed is most people who are legit aren't asking me for things like address and phone number. So that's like the really obvious one. So yeah, that's my story of how I almost got in 2021. Yeah, that's the tea. So I did one eye. There it is. It's looking cute. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 11 more. Is that right? Yep, I have 11 more eyes. So I will add ink to those, continue doing that, add some more eyes. And yeah, I really like just having this as something like, it's kind of relaxing. You guys have seen some of my works in progress, and those are a lot more detailed. So this is like a good way to decompress. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. I hope that was helpful. Let me grab that phone number, like in the caption, but who even knows if you'll read that. So bear with me for a sec. Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, the subject was, I need your service. And the phone number they gave me was 717-388-0490. And like I said, when I Googled that, it brought me to that blog post, but it also, like, you know, it brought up other people's names that weren't Juliet Simon. And I think it also did, like, you know, you get the Google results you always get that are like, look up this number, like unregistered number, like blah. So thank goodness for that blog post again. But yeah, I guess if you see an email and that's the phone number you're given, watch out, because it looks like they use the same one all the time. And that is my public service announcement. That was fun. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.